Hi everyone, welcome to the latest episode of globalheadwinds.com, where we explore the shifting currents shaping our planet and our future. Today we head to one of the coldest, loneliest places on Earth, the Arctic Circle. But it's no longer as cold or as lonely as it once was. Let me start with a question. Have you heard of a Grolar beer? Most people haven't, but it's real. And it's one of the strangest, eerie signs of what's happening to our planet. Here's the story. As the global temperatures rise and ice melts faster than ever before, grizzly bears, those powerful brown giants of North America, have begun to wander north. They are following the changing climate, chasing food into the once frozen Arctic. And here they meet the polar bears, the undisputed leaders of the ice. When these two species cross paths, something extraordinary happens. They mate. The result? A Grolar bear, half grizzly, half polar, a living hybrid, the result of a warming planet. It's nature's way of showing us that boundaries we once thought permanent between species, between ecosystems, even between nations are beginning to blur.
It's half grizzly, half polar bear, and its origin story is quite sad. It's called a Grolar bear, and nature didn't make it, climate change did. As Arctic ice melts, polar bears are being forced south, while grizzlies move north, and when they meet, they mate. The result is the Grolar bear, a rare hybrid that's real, wild, and thriving. It has the white fur of a polar bear, but the muscular build and claws of a grizzly. It's stronger, more adaptable, and better suited to warming climates. It can hunt seals like a polar bear and dig roots and berries like a grizzly. Basically, the ultimate survivalist in a changing world.
But the story of Arctic doesn't stop with the Grolar bear, because while nature adapts, nations compete. The Arctic, once a frozen wilderness of ice and silence, is now the world's newest geopolitical frontier. As the ice retreats, it reveals two things: opportunity and tension. As a result of melting ice, new sea routes are opening, faster, shorter, cheaper. The northern sea route hugs the Russia's coast, while the Northwest Passage winds through Canada's icy archipelago. Together, they could cut travel times between Asia and Europe by almost 30%, bypassing choke points like the Suez Canal. And beneath the thinning ice lies a hidden treasure trove of oil, gas, and minerals, reserves so vast they could reshape the global energy map. So it's not such a surprise that the world powers are rushing north. Russia, with its longest Arctic coastline, is moving fastest. It has declared the northern sea route as its own waters, demanding foreign ships seek permissions to pass. It's reopening the Soviet-era bases, building radar systems, deploying missiles, and constructing nuclear-powered icebreakers to carve paths through the ice. For Moscow, the Arctic isn't just a matter of pride. It is survival. Sanctioned and isolated by the West because of the Ukraine war, it sees Arctic's resources as lifelines for its economy. But Russia's ambitions are colliding with those of others. The United States, Canada, and the Nordic nations are alarmed by this military buildup.
How does an icebreaker ship works? With the rounded shape bow, unlike other vessels, the smoother portion of an icebreaker ship allows it to glide more easily over the thick ice coat, reducing the opposing forces greatly. As the ship glides over the ice, its weight comes down on the ice sheet, crushing it.
Even as Russia struggles to expand its fleet of icebreakers, it has turned to an unexpected partner: India. That's right, India, a nation thousands of miles from the Arctic, is now being tapped by Russia to build new specialized ice-breaking ships. In a striking move, President Putin reportedly chose India over China to undertake this mission. A quiet but telling shift in Arctic geopolitics. Meanwhile, since the invasion of Ukraine in 2022, the Arctic Council, once a rare forum for global cooperation, has all but fractured. Science and environmental dialogue have given way to suspicion and strategy. The United States, long criticized for ignoring the Arctic, has suddenly woken up. It now calls the region a core national security interest. Washington is building new icebreakers, strengthening its Alaska presence, and conducting joint NATO exercises with Norway and Denmark. And then there's Greenland. Under President Trump, there was even talk, half serious, half provocative, of buying Greenland from Denmark. Why? Because controlling Greenland means controlling the gateway to the Arctic. But the Arctic isn't just a playground for the West and Russia. There is another powerful player on the horizon, China. Beijing calls itself a near Arctic state, and through its Polar Silk Road, it's integrating Arctic shipping into its global Belt and Road Initiative. China's strategy is subtle but sweeping. Access to new energy reserves, faster trade routes, and influence in the future governance of Arctic, all under the banner of scientific cooperation. For the US and its allies, this is deeply unsettling. Another front in the quiet, long game of global influence. But while the great powers jostle for position, the real victim are the Arctic's fragile ecosystems and indigenous people. Every new icebreaker, every drilling rig, every shipping lane chips away at the region already under siege from melting permafrost and rising seas. The Arctic is changing before our eyes, and not just physically, but politically. It's a mirror reflecting the world's two greatest crises, climate change and competition. So next time you see a photo of a polar bear drifting on a lonely icy floe, remember, the melting of that ice is also melting old borders, reshaping alliances, and redefining what power looks like in a warming world. This isn't just about the Arctic. It is about us and the planet we are changing faster than we can understand. Thanks for listening to globalheadwinds.com, where we trace the winds that are shaping our future. If this story stirred something in you, share it, subscribe, and join me next week as we explore another corner of our ever-shifting world.